When asked about concerns in the student population, Marlboro High School principal Mary Carlson responded, "My biggest concern was that of stress and suicide." She said that results of a survey showed that 16% of students have considered suicide, and a whopping 70% say they are stressed out. She said, "That concerns me immensely. I think stress is one of the issues that through a lot of education we can help students redirect their stress." Now, what exactly is the leading cause of stress in students? The answer right now is college. Do you plan on going to college?
Yes, I plan on going to college.
Yes, I plan on going to college.
Of course.
Yes, I plan on going to college.
Of course.
Yes, I'm going to college.
What are you doing right now to prepare for college?
Well, I just decided that I'm going to take an SAT course once a week with CHO educators. That's something that I've really been working on because my SAT scores weren't that great last time.
Right now for college, I am taking SAT practice tests. I am studying for subject tests.
Well, I didn't take any Princeton review classes or anything like that. What I am doing, I'm taking my first SATs, I guess, next weekend, 24th. This weekend, coming up. Sorry.
Yes, I have. My parents have been really making me. I've already been college visiting. I've looked at different kinds of schools. I looked at urban schools and a rural school and suburban and all that. I've looked in Boston and Washington, D.C., somewhere up in Pennsylvania. I don't even know. It might have been Connecticut or upstate New York. I don't know.
I've visited, oh God, I can't even remember, probably 15 schools within the past year, maybe more, I'm not really sure. I've been on a lot of trips, I've seen a lot of schools, I've done 50 million College Board survey things. My parents get me the little books and everything, but I told them I didn't really want to take any of the SAT classes, so that's about it.
Personally, not much. I got a little SAT stuff going on, practice questions.
Do you find this process stressful?
I don't really get stressed that easily. I tend to kind of just take days as they come. And
Yeah, I rarely have time to do extracurricular activities. I do voice lessons and things. But when I'm not doing that, I'm always doing work. I'm always reading.
I don't find much stressful at all. I'm not a very stressed guy.
There's a lot to do for 5 different clubs, but it's all stuff that I want to do when I get older, and then it's going to help me get into college, so I feel like it's time well spent.
Do you do any extracurricular activities or sports? Or do you work?
Well, I don't do any organized sports at the high school just because, A, well, I'm not athletic, and B, the one that I would want to do is probably swimming, and I'd have to go real far for it, but that's irrelevant. So I don't do any sports, but I'm on newspaper, kind of. I'm on class council, I'm treasurer. I'm a member of mock trial. I'm a member of, oh God, what else? Broadcast club. I'm going on Skills USA. I do a lot of stuff outside of school too, a lot of volunteer work and that kinds of things. And actually, myself and another student are trying to start, I guess what could be called sort of an environmental club, which is hopefully about to happen very soon.
I take voice lessons once a week. I am teaching Hebrew classes on Sundays. I'm also doing our school play, so I do rehearsals a couple of times a week, as well as I'm going to start my SAT class too.
I work with Habitat for Humanity. I volunteer sometimes at the hospital. I have leadership positions in almost every club I'm in.
First of all, I work at a supermarket, very glamorous job. I work maybe right now, maybe twice a week. Usually it's 3 or 4 days a week. 8 hours right now, but in the past 12 to 16 hours a week.
How concerned are you with your grades right now?
Well, I'm not concerned. I still know they're a lot better than the average person, but me being a perfectionist, I always want them to be higher. Until my report card is straight hundreds, I'm not gonna be happy.
Well, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to Princeton, which is where I wanted to go since I was 2 years old, because it's not going to happen. It's impossible for me. My GPA right now is at like a 96. I'm happy with that. I don't think it's bad.
Go on Facebook. I know that's so bad, but it's like de-stressing. I could just go on and just, stay connected with people, I guess.
I try to like give myself a couple hours every day where I don't have to do work and I can just like talk on the phone or go online or listen to music, or sometimes I just need to like have a time where I just, like let it out and like run or scream or something. Like go for a run or something. Just let it go.
No, but I do listen to music. That is de-stressing.
Have you started looking at colleges yet?
I did a college search with my brother when he went to college a couple of years ago, so I did some looking in the Boston area as well as in Philadelphia. I kind of like Drexel. My brother goes there now, so I'm an alum, and yeah, I might go there. I think that's like my safety school, but I'm not completely sure yet. I want to go somewhere in New York.
Columbia. I love Columbia.
Two in particular, both in Boston, Boston University and Emerson.
A few. Duke, Chapel Hill, just a few.
NYU is also cool, but Columbia owns my heart.
When told the acceptance rates for schools that they wanted to apply to, students replied.
I don't know. I feel like pretty good, like I can get in. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, I can get in, because I don't know. Things can change. I mean, my cousin, she's really, really smart. She was like very close to the top of her class, and she did not get into Boston University.
I know that my odds are slim, but I know that I do everything that I can, and I'm just going to hope.
That makes me extremely nervous, considering that I'm always self-conscious with my grades, and it's just going to make me really nervous, considering that I don't think my PSAT scores are that spectacular.
I'm sorry if I...
Yes, I am very concerned about the economic aspect of it, because my grandfather's already paying for my brother's college expenses, so I don't know if he's going to be able to do the same for mine. I heard that it's better for the less you have, the more money you'll get from FAFSA, so I am kind of happy about that, but not necessarily that's going to be like a big factor where I'm going, because I know it is.
Do many students complain to you about the stress of preparing for college?
In that regards, yes. Yeah, definitely there are students that are stressed out, and parents. I think sometimes it's because of maybe the inconsistencies of what the student wants to what the parent wants. Some students have some schools in mind, and some parents may not want their students to look into those schools. An example of that would be art schools. We always have students, we're communications high school, we have students here that are interested in the fields of art, and therefore some schools are looking to attend a School of Visual Arts or a Fashion Institute of Technology or University of Arts. And some parents have a conflict with that. They want them to go to an academic institution, not necessarily an art school, so that definitely leads to stress.
I think we do a really good job preparing them for what they need to do, so hopefully that takes some of the stress out of it.
Do you think the stress and competitiveness of preparing for college has become detrimental to students?
I think a lot of people put a lot of stress on the testing, and therefore, they may have some schools in mind that they want to apply to, but because of their SAT scores, it's going to be a long shot for me to get in there, but I still want to apply. So now it becomes from a realistic school to maybe a reach school, just because strictly based on their SAT scores. So there is a lot of stress and pressure that students feel with these standardized tests, and that's why people will do SAT prep services and hire tutors to come and so on and so forth. So.
Well, if students are taking the SAT prep courses, it's a lot of time involved, usually 2 to 4 hours a week during the school week at night. And so sometimes if it's their difficult semester and they have 3 academics and they're also doing a prep course, it can be very stressful. So it's a yes and no, and sometimes kids just take it, cold and see how they do.
With the economy the way it is, how do you think that students and their families will be able to pay for college?
I think students should be worried about that. The economy is really going to be affecting the class of 2009, and then of course the class of 2010, and so on and so forth. That I think it's more of a parental concern at this point. I don't know if students really, have an idea as far as, my parents having to pay for college. Some kids are kind of oblivious to that, and I've worked this hard to put myself in and go into a good school, and I don't care what the cost is, therefore I'm going to do it. But we will always recommend that students should apply to at least 1 or 2 state schools as a backup. When you apply to a state school, you will qualify for not only financial aid from the federal government, but you also may qualify for state aid as well as the college aid. So if you're an out-of-state student and you want to go to a school in New York, you're not going to qualify for any state aid in New York. If you stay in New Jersey, you will qualify for state aid because you're.
Well, I do notice that more students are applying to state schools because the cost of the state schools is significantly less than private colleges. The other thing that I talk to students about is co-op programs where you get the opportunity to work and earn a nice entry-level salary while you're going to college. So that helps defray some of the cost of colleges. I let them know what schools do give merit money so that if they apply to those schools, usually they will get anywhere from.
Not all students feel the immense pressure related to the college applications process. But those who do feel it in different ways and deal with it in different ways.